Hello, good morning. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Podcast. Today, of course, I have my coffee here this morning. This is a podcast. I'll try to hit all the topics that I want to talk about today. Today, I want to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart. Is my beautiful wife. Um, what would happen in a situation? Say something happens to me. What would happen to my wife and daughter? And so today's topic is on this particular podcast is what exactly would happen if something would happen to me personally and happen to my wife and daughter at the current time, current state. So I want to talk about this briefly. People really don't talk about this too much, but I'm going to talk about this way, and then I'm going to do a video on Tom and Ruth on another analogy, another way of thinking on it. But this I'm thinking about this is this, that if something happened to me, would Ruth have enough money that she could sustain herself and or have a life without me? Meaning, how would she buy her groceries? How would she eat? How would she do things? As you guys know, the economy here in general, when you're young and you're a young adult in your late teens and early 20s, you can actually get a job, fairly decent job at a mall or a bank or a restaurant or places like that, or some kind of institution, that has customer service oriented retail. And they look for the younger girls because the younger girls are fine and they're attractive, and people, they want to have that appearance, even though they're not thinking right. If they would keep some of the ladies that were experienced, like really understanding what the market's about, a 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old lady, and keep those people, they would have a loyal employee that will never quit and never leave them high and dry. Where the young kids, they will come into a job and they'll leave the employer high and dry and not show up, drank too much the night before, party too much before, and don't think it won't happen. It happens the same here as it does anywhere else in the world. People by nature here are lazy, and it's because of the environment they're in. They're in an environment that it's a lazy environment. The only one pushes the kids to go out to work is the mother and father, and aunties and uncles will push the children to go out and make income for the family, and they will put pressure upon them to do that. And they will keep putting pressure upon them to go out and make some type of income for the family and keep them activated to bring money in. And if they have 2 or 3 children that does that and are working, the mom and papa are looking at, okay, we got a healthy income coming in. But you'll find that children that are a young age and in their 20s will not work continuously for a period of time. They will, after a certain amount of time, they'll quit their job, or they'll decide something else to do, or maybe go down another road, and which affects a lot of people in general, because if a child loses his job, then they have no income for the family, and because their father maybe get up in years and they cannot work, or maybe they have farm, or just in general, maybe he's too old to drive a tricycle anymore, or maybe something has happened. You find that because of the food and the type of foods that they eat, it's great foods here, wonderful foods, but the rice itself, there's a lot of diabetes here. And there's probably more diabetics here than anywhere else than in the world. I should do a study on that with my healthy lifestyle and check that out. And even if I'm wrong, I will say I'm wrong on that. But I will say this, that it's very important for a child to take care of their family here. And so they have that idea of they have to do that. Well, looking at it in the aspect of Ruth and Ruth could work and would work, and she would take care of her mother. But then on the other hand, her mother herself, right now, even today, is able to work and wants to work and can do anything but to make nominal money. Meaning, Ruth, if she was to get a job in town, she would make probably $20, $22, $25 a week if she's lucky, and $100 a month. Well, in that case, she's better off to stay put and do something else, sell a cake or two along, sell a turkey or two along, do like that, and she would end up making more money in the long run than going into town and paying fuel and gas. And even though she may take her food, you still end up incurring expenses because you'd have to get clothes. You guys understand the cycle there. And then she's away from the house 6 days a week. And honestly, I'm retired. I don't want to sit alone, and she's working in town. So I require her not to do that. I require her. So how would a lady, a woman, take care of herself if something happened to the man? And it's something that I want all the foreigners to really think about, man. They're coming here, and that should be the first thing on your mind is, who's going to take care of my wife when I'm long gone? I mean, is she going to find another man? Probably not. Is she going to be rushing out, oh, okay, I'm going to find someone else? Well, even if there was men lined up from here until to California, how many of those guys would probably be the type that she would like? So some would say, oh, no worries, I'd find another man really quick. Some would say, no, I'm never getting married again. Some will say, they're my guy, and I'm never going to do that again. Whatever the case is, you still have to plan for their income. So say, for instance, let's just say you have $500,000 in the bank. How long would $500,000 last a Filipina, to say at 45 years old? How long would that last? So if you put the numbers together and sit and think about it a minute, say she took out $1,000 a month for maintain, and that's probably a pretty good price. $1,000 a month times 12 months is $12,000 a year, right? You say, that's okay. That would probably be okay. But what if circumstances arose that she would need, and that's $500,000. Not many men and not many people have $500,000 in the bank. They'll be lucky to have $100,000 in the bank. And just say you were lucky enough to have $100,000 in the bank. So even at the 10-year rate or 15-year rate, she's 45. She's going to be what? 60 years old. What's she going to do then when that money runs out? Even at $100,000, because there's always something that happens. You know, sister sick, mother, grandmother, aunties, uncles, children, kids, cousins, that you're going to have to end up helping along. And that's what they'll do. They'll end up helping the family when times are hard and they don't see any light in the tunnel. Meaning that they can go and help mother. They need $1,000 for this and $1,000 for that. So at $10,000 a year, it's probably going to get more like $15,000 to $20,000, maybe to $25,000 a year. A year. So what's going to happen with that? 4 years, 5 years, that money's going to be gone. 10 years at $500,000. 15 years at $500,000. At 60 years old. Because if she doesn't have Social Security here is junk. It's junk. So Social Security in the States, at least you have an income. That's the reason I said that people really need to sit down and think, what is the future plans for yourself? Are you planning for yourself, or you just really don't care, or people just don't care? I'm finding a lot of times that from what I've talked to and the guys I've talked to and the guys that are here, they don't care. It's all about them. Do you care if something happens to yourself and your family's taken care of or not? Some people say, well, I have 80 grand in the bank and I'm not going to worry about it. Well, that's fine. That 80 grand after a few years here will be gone. I guarantee it. I don't care how much money you have, you end up spending it because of life. And there's always going to be something that breaks and tears up. And if you have a car, you're going to end up buying another car before you know you dip it into your money. Before that, you're down 20 grand. Don't think it doesn't happen. And if you, God forbid, you had hospital care, had on top of that a minor a minor accident or something, injury that's happened to you that you're not planning on. It could be a motorcycle accident. It's a matter of It's a matter of when you're going to have an accident, because if you're on the roads here, you're going to have an accident. It's inevitable. The law averages. It's win today, tomorrow, next week, next month, and after you have the first one, you're more apt to have another one, another one, another one. Don't think that it doesn't happen. It happens all the time. That's the reason I decided not to drive here. I don't want to be responsible for hitting a child or hitting a man. Taxi driver yesterday was bringing us home from the mall, and a guy literally walked out in front of us. And as Ruth says, I didn't see it. My head was down. I was on my phone. If it 1 split second more, we would have hit that guy. If that guy was like not really in tune with his car, the driver, we would have hit that guy. Would we have hurt him? Probably. And who's responsible for it? You're responsible for it. As a taxi, I'm not responsible. But if you drive a car, you're responsible for his injuries, and so you will have to pay for his injuries. Not only that, you'll have to fix your own car. And all that, that's if you get to keep your car, because a lot of times they'll take your car from you. So that's the way it is here. It depends on the area, it depends on where you live. So it's just a matter of time. So if you have, and I'm sorry I get off on these tangents, but you have to really think realistically here. Are you thinking realistically that, okay, everything's going to be fine and I'm not going to worry about it? Well, eventually you're going to end up worrying about it, because if you get sick, or she gets sick, or your daughter or son or grandchildren or somebody here gets sick, you're going to end up helping them. You'll be surprised, a simple thing like, here's something simple, you don't think about it. But we helped a couple people in going to college. And, you don't think about it, yeah, no worries, send them $20, $20, $20, $20, $20, $20, $20, $20, $20. So you start going along there, you send them 20 every week, because you got to have food, you have to have transportation. That's only $20 a week. That's 1,000 peso. So $20, $20, $20 a week. So you get it going along, right? So that's a couple $100 a month. You add that up. Plus, you got your own child. Plus, they need transportation. They need food, and you're paying, say, $40, $50 a month for that. So you're adding all these numbers up, and adding up all these $20 and $20. Before you know it, you spent $5,000 a year just transportation going to school. $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 just going to school. $300 a month, $200 a month, 12 months, $2,400. So there you go. See, so it adds up so fast. So when you have someone that you love and you care for, you want to make sure they're taken care of. If they're able to work here, there's no jobs that they can actually go do, and so that's the reason why people really need to sit down and really take a hard look at their situation. And don't have that me attitude. Don't have that me, it's only me, I'm not going to worry about it. I don't really care what happens to them. And so many people have this happen. So this video today is about that, and I wanted to talk about that. And you don't really think about those little details and the small things, but it matters so much, especially if you really love your wife and your lady. You want to make sure you take care of them. So many people do not take the time or effort to do that, and they should. You should always take the time and effort to take care of your ladies. And how many people do have that me attitude? So God bless everybody, and thank you so much. I'm sorry it's only a 14-minute video, but I could go on and on, but I don't know if people listen to all of it. If you do listen to all of it, give me a shout out in the comments, and that way I'll know if you listen to all of it, and I'll make them longer. Everybody tells me to make them longer. God bless.